A very good morning to you. It's another beautiful day, Monday, 28th of December 2020. This far the Lord has brought us. Thank you for tuning into Motivation Monday. My name is James Okumu. So glad you took the time to hook up with us today. Now, looking back at 2020 has been a year and a half. Oh my goodness, it's felt like one of those years that we have never experienced before, because we've never experienced anything like we've been hit with in 2020. And I was thinking about this earlier on. I thought for most people, for a good number of people, 2020 has been a year of losses. I mean, people have lost so many things. First and foremost, a good number of people have lost loved ones, because there are those who succumbed to the COVID-19 pandemic, and we lost so many lives this year, not just in Kenya, but across the globe. There are those people who've lost their jobs, and they're still trying to find a way to recover. There are people who have lost their businesses, and it's become quite an issue. Schools had to close down. Opportunities have been lost, opportunities for growth, opportunities for education. And so it's been a year where we've experienced quite a number of losses. You could literally say that when you look back at 2020, it's almost like you have pieces that are scattered all over the place. And sometimes you wonder, how do I move on from here? Even as we are believing God for a better 2021, you look back at 2020 and you're thinking, oh my goodness, everything is in pieces, everything is scattered all over the place. Is there hope for a new year? What if this continues into the new year? And so there are many questions a lot of us are asking ourselves. And so this morning on Motivation Monday, I want us to talk about those pieces. Those pieces you're seeing back there when you look back at 2020. How do you pick up the pieces and rebuild and move on again? That is what we want to discuss this morning on Motivation Monday. And so if you're in that place where you're feeling like, you don't know how to pick up the pieces, this is the show for you, because I believe that once we're through with you, we'll give you some hope and some encouragement, because better things lie ahead for us. Well, wonderful music is coming your way from Family TV and Family Radio 316, the station where the music does the talking, keeping Jesus on the airwaves. I think now I should start telling you Happy New Year as we look forward to 2021, which is just around the corner. It's Motivation Monday, picking up the pieces. But before we pick up the pieces, Eden Tea, finest garden tea. I don't know whether you've enjoyed some wonderful Eden tea during this Christmas season. I have, and I can honestly tell you it is the finest garden tea. Eden tea still reminding you and I that together we can flatten the curve of the COVID-19 pandemic, and we do that by washing our hands with soap and running water. We do that by putting on a face mask properly, and then also maintaining interpersonal distance, avoiding crowded places, especially in this festive season. We need to be careful, and we need to watch out for one another. So let's continue to work together. Let's not tire. Let's go all the way to the end and defeat this thing as we work together. Remember, Eden Tea available at leading outlets. Affordable prices, comes to you in 5 flavors: Eden Green Tea, Eden Lemon Tea, Eden Purple Tea, Eden Ginger Tea, and Eden Premium Tea. If you haven't tried it out this season, try it. You will not regret it. So this morning, we are so blessed to be hooking up with motivation speaker, coach, trainer. I can give him so many names, but one thing I can guarantee you is this: if you sit down with this gentleman for 5 minutes, he will change your life. He is full of wisdom, practical wisdom. That's one of the things I love about him. He doesn't just give you things in the air. He has step by step. He's very key on this step to this step to this step for you to see results. James Karundu in studio with us via Zoom. Good to have you. Karibu sana.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Yes, we are looking forward to an amazing year. But, as I was saying earlier, when we look back at 2020 has been devastating for a good number of people. Either you've lost a job, or you've lost a loved one, you've lost a business, you've lost opportunities. I'm just wondering, how do we reconcile all that and still look forward to a positive new year?
Okay, it's true that this is a year where everything was shattered and pieces, spread over the floor. And this time of the year is a perfect time to take a step back and reflect. And when you reflect, you're going to start realizing a few things that one can only see them now. 3 things. First of all, this has been the year of great change. Yes. And with great change also comes great opportunity. We're going to be talking about that in a moment.
Okay.
So, but also it's been a year of forced evolution. People have been forced to evolve, to up their game to bring quick changes. Now, what's interesting is this, that some of these changes and some of these pivots that we've had to do were coming, but maybe they were several years away. So in 10 months, we've had changes and shifts and pivots in the way we live our lives and in the way we operate that would have taken 10 years.
Wow.
So the changes and the pivots, including something like this, interviews over Zoom, working from home, all those things were coming. It's just that now they have come in faster. And then we've been forced to catch up with, learning the technology. But the greatest element is the mind shift.
Yes.
The shift from pre-COVID to now. The thing of learning to land on your feet. The thing of starting to find your place again. And amidst, again, times of great compassion because of the lives that have been lost and all the things that have really, really been destroyed, and the whole thing of just having to start again for a lot of people.
So I'm just wondering, even with all that, where do I begin? As an individual who's experienced losses here and there, where do I begin, even as I have the desire to see a better 2021?
Okay, so a lot of these things, just like I shared in another program, there's need for just quieting down, just the need for just taking time to really reflect and look at this. Now you have hindsight. I mean, you remember the times, James, at the peak of, the first announcements, the panic, in April, it couldn't even move and all that. Things have kind of cleared, even though we're in the midst of a second wave.
Yes.
But at least we're able to move around and survive, okay? So what may I recommend is take time to quiet down, just reflect, start thinking. And the place to look for, the thing to look for is the hidden blessings.
Oh.
Because the hidden blessings, every challenge comes with hidden blessings.
Okay.
And again, I hold on to Jeremiah 29:11 for, the plans I have for you. So despite all this, somewhere there is a plan for hope, for future.
Yeah.
For me. So that's a place to begin. And that's a place I'd recommend that, get down, start looking. There must be a hidden blessing. And when you look at it, you will start realizing that indeed there are a number of things that went right despite all that. So you've got to look and acknowledge, because if you don't acknowledge the fact that you're paying less in fuel by traveling 50 kilometers to and fro your workplace, then you miss the bigger point here. So amidst the challenge, you've got to start looking for the hidden blessings. I mean, parents who have had time to spend with their children, new values that have had to train their children, a lifetime opportunity to get out of the busy lane and tulia nyumbani for a lot of people. So what I'm trying to say here is that start looking for the hidden blessing. There's always a hidden blessing somewhere. And the other thing I said here is this. The thing I said earlier is this, that it's a time of forced evolution.
Yeah.
So you've learned many new things. You've learned to adapt. Your resilience muscle has been strengthened.
Yes.
You have learned to survive, to shift, to do new things. Almost everybody is doing something new. Isn't that a blessing?
That's a
and
blessing.
for a lot of people, they were in the comfort zones. So everyone was thrown like a speeding bullet out of their comfort zones. So there is something to be said about hidden blessings amidst all the challenges that we have.
Okay. I love what you're sharing, because hearing you say it that way, I recognize that many of us are so anti-change. There's a way we know life. This is how we do life. And now, because that was disrupted, we are only looking at, this is how we used to do it and we can't do it anymore. And we are not seeing the new opportunities that are here. Maybe you can share with us a bit on how to handle change, because I think that's the main issue that many of us are struggling with. That we were used to this, Now this is not there anymore, and we can't see any other thing that is good yet. There are still some opportunities here.
Well, okay, it's also a little bit about us Kenyans. We really love diving on the on the negative side of things, really. So there's a slight cultural element there, where even when things are doing okay, you kind of and you struggle to that's sort of, so we have that sort of mentality somewhere there. But anyway, this is not to diminish that. Clearly, it's been a tough year and a lot of difficult things that people have gone through. But the thing there is to start looking and asking yourself. I want us to asking yourself, what assets do I have? It's back to the question of what do I have in the hand? And I've been discussing this with a lot of my clients. That what assets do you still have? You're not starting out empty. You do have a lot going for you, and I would dare any listener to try and list 10 assets. 10 assets are: you have work experience, even if you're not at work. You have a talent. You have a passion. There's something that you love doing. Maybe there are clients you've worked with, and I keep saying, goodwill is golden. People you've dealt with, connections, contacts, networks that you have. But you're not starting off from zero. You are starting off from a good place. And a good place because you've been forced to change. And so now you're open to opportunities that maybe were hidden in plain sight. So there are assets that you have, and look into them. And look, I keep asking, what have you done? There's a thing of the 10,000 hours. And most people, listening to this, is something they've done for 10,000 hours. Something they're the best in the world at. Something which they are the uncrowned king or queen at. That's a place to begin. And this is a new dispensation where it is about talent. It's about problem solving. It's about people who are able to connect with others. It's a time of great compassion. So I want to put it, in a hopeful manner, that there's hope, that you're not starting off from nowhere. And there are many pieces you can pick. And but also a word of caution. There are also many pieces not to pick. Because the opportunity is the opportunity of choice. We keep saying opportunities. It's also opportunity of choice. Because now you can make a better decision. There are a lot of things that we had gotten ourselves into out of default scenario. And then you got into a comfort zone. So now you have a chance. And something else to keep in mind, for the ones who are saying want to go back to normal, there is nothing to go back to. There is nowhere to go to. So the only way is forward.
It's interesting you say that. Just I think 2 weeks ago, I was having a conversation with some parents, and we were looking at the Christmas season is here, and then right after that, back to school and all that. And how do we manage even financially? And one of the parents was saying, one of the things I've learned in this season is that there are things I don't need, yet I was spending money on them. She was saying, I'm not buying as many pairs of shoes as I used to buy, and all these handbags. I've cut down on so many things, and I've realized life is still good. And so those are changes that some of us have had to make. But sometimes I fear that we are waiting for things to go back to normal so that we can go back to the normal that we knew, which would be a waste. And we would not have learned anything in this season.
And that's why I said forced evolution. I mean, we were, upheaval. So suddenly you have to change and shift. And that's why I was saying that one of the opportunities is the opportunity of choice. Make better choices. Look within. And when I was thinking about this conversation, there's one word that keeps coming again and again. Alignment. That you have the choice. Sorry, you have the chance to make choices that are aligned or better aligned with who you are. Previously, we were just doing stuff. So you have one of the opportunities is the opportunity of choice to think and to do what is aligned with what you're meant to do, with who you're called to be, and the difference you're meant to make.
Yes. Wow. This morning we are talking about picking up the pieces even as we look forward to 2021, because 2020 has been quite a devastating year for quite a number of people, and we are believing God for a better year in the next few days. But how do we pick up the pieces, the things we've lost in this year, as we usher in the new year in a couple of days? If you have any thoughts or any experiences you want to share with us concerning what you are going through, 20316 is the SMS line. WhatsApp number is 0786 316 316. Right now, we want to listen to something. What do I play you? This is Balugal coming in with this fantastic song, reminding us it's the most wonderful time of the year. We are talking about picking the pieces this morning on Motivation Monday, hanging out with my namesake, James Karondo, and he's giving us some insights of where we can begin and how we can actually, get ourselves together again and begin to move in to the next year. I'm just wondering, James, how do you deal with, it's been a year of loss, and sometimes
yes,
whether it's losing a job or even losing a loved one, because there are those in our midst who've lost loved ones in this season, and sometimes you can get stuck there. The mourning season can be prolonged. I've seen people who have had a hard time moving from mourning the loss of this job or this opportunity or this loved one. How do we move on for those of us who have experienced this kind of losses in 2020?
Well, so it is human to mourn, and it is important to do so. It is part of the healing process. The only thing is, keep in mind that you're allowed 40 days. Now, after 40 days, pick up the pieces and start rebuilding. So, don't extend that 40 days. When you extend the 40 days, and I'm saying this with great compassion to whoever is in that scenario, then you really, you're starting to lose the opportunities. You're starting to lose momentum. So go through that, and it's the 40 days, and it is allowed, and it is really, really recommended. From there, you must start regrouping, and as we said, you have assets, and these assets have all assets I've mentioned come with opportunities. So it's not asset is on the left hand side, and on the right hand side we have opportunities. So everyone has at least 3 opportunities that they can pursue.
Oh, okay.
And yes, everyone who is watching this has at least 3 opportunities that they can start pursuing. And can I share 1 or 2?
Yes, please. I'm eager to listen to hear this one.
Okay, great. So one of the opportunities is something I call the forgotten passion. The forgotten passion. Something you started doing when you were in primary or high school or during work, you got busy, it went to the back burner. Everybody has a forgotten passion. Everybody has that thing that they were excited to do at one point or the other. So it's time to go uncovering where you buried it. It's a time to go uncovering where you buried some of those forgotten passions. So that's a place to begin, because anything that you do that makes you come alive automatically changes your vibes, changes the vibes of everyone, and starts creating hope. So that's opportunity number 1. Opportunity number 2 is an opportunity you see in the marketplace. Everyone sees opportunity in the marketplace. There's always opportunity in the marketplace. You see, entrepreneurship, which is what I teach people, is not an option today. That side hustle, you've got to start it. That side hustle you've been thinking about. And it's a matter of trusting yourself. And the easiest thing to do for somebody who is wondering, where do I start with that side hustle? Okay? I always say the power of 1. So it's 1 person, 1 problem, 1 solution. That should get you started. Okay?
I like that.
And yes, and the third one is the compassion project. Everyone can chip in. Compassion is needed greatly, more than ever, even as we go into the new year. The challenges we have are not going anywhere.
Yeah.
The mask and the sanitizer and the social distancing are going to be with us for some time. So the issue of families without food, your friends, relatives, family members without their wherewithal to survive is still going to continue being a great area of concern. So let's go through this again. Okay, I'm a mwalimu. I like repeating, making sure wamepata. Okay. So, well, so anyway, forgotten passion. And then the other thing is a business opportunity or side hustle.
Yes.
The third one is a compassion project. Compassion is needed.
Yes.
Where can you add to that compassion bank? Whether it is through materially, through time, through treasures, compassion is needed in our society today.
Wow. You know, that whole issue of going back and things that you're passionate about, that's one thing I've seen quite a bit in this season. People who lost jobs and they fell back on something they used to do back in the day. In fact, I was reading the story of this lady who lost her job, you know, and she went back to what she loves doing, you know, which is just she loves agriculture, she loves vegetables and all that, and so she started bringing vegetables and just selling to her neighbors. And the story was saying that within a month or two, she realized she's making almost double what she was making when she was employed. And she was saying, when this hit me, I wondered, why am I working for somebody else? You know, and now she's looking at how to build this business to grow and become something even bigger. And I was thinking, had this not happened, that opportunity would have passed her by.
Hidden blessings.
Yes.
Hidden blessings amidst the challenge. And really, really, that is where the turning around for many of us is going to be.
Okay.
Hidden challenge, so that within the challenges, there are hidden blessings, and those are the pieces to pick. Those are the pieces to pick, as you know, metaphorically.
Okay. What about the fear question? A lot of us are held back by fear because, like I said earlier on, we were in such a rhythm. We were in a rhythm of going to the office or doing this, and we are afraid to try something new. Even though circumstances are forcing us to look into a new direction, some of us are so held back by fear, we're not even seeing those opportunities. How do you remove that mask of fear over our lives that we may actually begin to see the opportunities that are before us?
Now, to pick on your phrase of mask of fear, what you called rhythm was actually a false rhythm. The mask of fear has always been there. In fact, that is what was keeping the rhythm supposedly moving.
Okay.
So, you know, the issue of fear is universal. It was there before COVID, and it's going to be there post-COVID. So the so-called rhythm, the so-called things seeming to work out was false rhythm, because a lot of people even then were still having ideas and they were still afraid to step out.
Very true.
So it's a little bit like even the business conditions that while the business environment has really been hard hit, it was not rosy either before COVID and even last year. And that's why I'm saying that COVID really has brought acceleration, brought things that needed to happen, to the fore. So the issue of fear, number one, is perennial, it's universal, and it's normal. If you're not feeling fearful, then there's a high chance what you want to do is not what you're meant to do. What you're meant to do will always take you out of your comfort zone. It's new territory. New territory is always fearful. So that's the first perspective. Number two is to understand that fear is like the 2-year-old. You know how the parent is left with a 2-year-old and there is no house help, and there's no food. You've got to go to you have to go to the supermarket, and this 2-year-old throws tantrums, including rolling on the floor of the supermarket.
Yes.
But tutakula nini? So what you do is unabebana na mtoto, let them throw the tantrum, but I'm gonna get it done. So same thing here is just really just that determination to do it in spite of the fear. And the key thing is that fear will always be there, and it's not gonna go away. And do it in spite of the fear. Do it. And what I keep saying is this: think big, start small. Start where you are with what you have. Start taking baby steps. The way out of fear is always baby steps.
Yes.
You do it a bit, become more confident. Because what you're talking about is a confidence journey. It's about believing in yourself. It's about finding the path. You're always going to be wobbly. You're always going to be wobbly when you start. You're always going to be not sure of yourself. You're going to stumble. You're going to fail. And that's part of the journey. So, so the thing is, if you fail once or twice, just say, so what? Get up. Get back on track again.
Wow.
Start again. That is how it works.
I like that. You've talked about thinking big but starting small. And I realize for some people, they had built to a certain place, whether it's their career or it's their business, and now 2020 has happened and everything has come crumbling down, and it's almost like they have to begin from step one again. And for some people that's a challenge, because I was so used to hanging out at step 10. Step 10 was my everyday, I enjoyed the view, everything was good. Now everything has crumbled down, and you mean to tell me I have to begin from step 1 again? For some people that's a huge challenge. How do you defeat that challenge and begin to build again?
Well, let's put it this way. All beginnings are all about having a beginner's mind. You cannot begin unless you adopt a beginner's mind. It's all about mind shift. You see, but also what's interesting is this, James. For most people who have been at the apex, sometimes I call them wounded winners. You used to be there, and now you're wounded. Most of them are able to bounce back. Most of them kind of know, it's a matter of beginning again. And they know that if you've reached here, you can always get back to here. That's always the interesting thing. It's like, somebody who has been, like a successful business owner, and then suddenly you go bankrupt, you can always bounce back, and many bounce back. So beginning again really is a very good place to be. And what I would want to tell the person is enjoy the ride.
I like that. Enjoy the ride. Yes. Because sometimes
we get so of starting again.
Yes, sometimes we get so fixated on the destination we forget that enjoy the journey to the destination. I like that.
Yeah.
It's Motivation Monday on
in fact, James.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, James. You remember we said you have the opportunity of choice.
Yeah.
So make the choice to become a beginner and enjoy the ride.
I like that. Make the choice to become a beginner and enjoy the ride. Great. Shortly we'll talk about, so now even as we are looking forward to 2021, looking back at all these things and what has happened and beginning to get into that mind frame of, this is what I've lost, these are the opportunities that are there. How then should I approach the new year as we seek into getting into 2021? What's my frame of mind? How should I look at 2021? How should I approach it? That's what we'll be talking about in the next short while. Remember, once again, if you want to share your experience with us, looking back at 2020 and projecting into 2021, 20316 is the SMS line. WhatsApp number is 0786316316. It's Motivation Monday, picking up the pieces that 2020 has left behind as we look forward to 2021, because 2020 has really been a hard year for a lot of people. Lots of losses, whether it is loss of a job, loss of an opportunity, loss of a business, loss of a loved one. I mean, we've lost quite a number of things this year. But how do we pick up the pieces and how do we move on? We're hanging out with James Karondo, who's giving us some wisdom and some insights on how to pick up the pieces and how to get into the new year. So here we are. James, I looked back at all the various things you've talked about. I'm just wondering, how How then should I approach the new year? What frame of mind should I have? Are there certain things I need to put in place to ensure that I maximize on the new year that all of us are looking forward to?
Okay, great. 2 words. Okay, yeah, I'm a mwalimu, so I like 2 words.
Yes.
3 words, 3 steps.
Yeah, I know you always have steps.
Yes, exactly. But the 2 words are gratitude and hope. So that's a right framework.
Yes.
That you got to look back with gratitude. Look, you're alive. God has kept you alive.
Yeah.
Can you imagine all the brushes you've had with the corona? You've come out safe. Think of all the meanderings,
yeah.
and here you are. So gratitude, really, that one is it's a must-have.
I like that.
Must do.
Yes.
And I would even challenge the reader. Shakes, I'm an author. I would challenge the viewer.
Yes.
Yeah, I would challenge the viewer to do their gratitude 100.
What is that?
And it can a list of 100 things you're grateful for in 2020. That is what you do. Just get a book and write one by one, counting those blessings as we have learned and as we know, one by one, minute after minute. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for this. Just write it down. If you want to buy the A4 full scaps, I don't know how many pages that is, but the point is this. That is going to put you in the right framework for you to look at 2021.
Okay.
Because, as the Americans would say, it ain't going to happen if you don't have gratitude.
Wow.
Surviving 10 months, 11 months of a pandemic year.
Yeah.
And hopefully you have a roof, and even if somebody's watching this, maybe they're having breakfast. Gratitude.
Yeah.
Okay, that one. And the gratitude 100 is really, really the place to begin.
Okay.
The next part now is the hope, because you can't have hope unless it is anchored in the gratitude of what you have.
Yeah.
You see, that's really the way it goes. So you must be hopeful without a doubt. You must be hopeful. I mean, you must be hopeful because the Almighty has kept us up to this particular time.
Yes.
Because there is hope for tomorrow. And there's something you played earlier on. I think you said there was a song about a better tomorrow. There was something about there was a song that you played earlier. Better times, better times. That we must always have hope for better times.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have hope for better times, then the inspiration cannot come. Because so you must have hope for better time, so that the inspiration in terms of the ideas and what you need to focus on and do. But the thing you need to do, everybody without a doubt, is write down your goals.
Yeah.
The simple act of writing goals is the one that repositions everything. You see, when you write down your goals, and again, this is not a goal setting session. So write down, whatever it is. The key thing is going to be specific, and you must have some sort of timeline around it. In fact, the simplest thing is what by when. What by when. That's the simplest. What by when. So you need to have that list. You got to think, and what I recommend is think about goals for every part of your life in terms of health, well-being, in terms of most of the times it's always finances and weight. That's go beyond that and think wider. Remember the 3 projects we talked about, the forgotten project. What is it that you want? I mean, we talked about including the compassion. What difference do you want to make? Write a goal. I want to make a difference. In fact, I'm a numbers guy. I want to impact 1,000 lives.
Wow.
In one way or another.
Yeah.
And there's something amazing about that. Because the inspiration, the ideas will not come before that crazy idea and crazy goal.
Very true.
And that is what it's about. And despite everything, dare to dream and dare to dream big. Remember, times of great change are also times of great opportunities. So it is important to have that big, audacious goal. Have it. Trust that that a way will come. Trust that, you know, the inspiration just doesn't come just like that, empty. It is because maybe you're the chosen one to bring that change.
Yes. I like that. I like that. And you know, I'm realizing even with what you're saying, you know, when I have gratitude, when I'm hopeful, when I have my goals in place, it becomes easier for me to recognize opportunities. You know, because sometimes I wonder, some people see opportunities everywhere, some people see dark and gloom everywhere. And I think it's an inside job. It begins with that whole aspect of having gratitude. You know, what's the condition inside here? Because it will determine what I see outside here. Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing to keep in mind is that despite everything, your voice is needed in the marketplace. Your ideas are needed in the marketplace.
Yes.
What you haven't brought forth is required. So write that book, sing that song, go for that project that you want to do. Step out. Bring your passion bring your passion forth. Follow that calling in your heart. And I keep saying, if you can feel the calling in your heart, there is an opportunity for you to make a difference.
Yes.
Including, you're gonna love this, a client ready to pay you.
Very true. Very, very true. You know, James, there's a friend of mine who loves telling me this, that they can steal your fruit, but they can never steal your fruitfulness. And I think sometimes in situations like this, because the fruit has been destroyed or the fruit has been taken away, we forget the fact that we have the capacity to bring forth another fruit. You know, and so we fail to see the opportunities.
And this is so interesting. And again, kind of, James, I really love how we're kind of just jamming and kind of just flowing with it. So
I think it's a James thing. It's a James thing.
I think so. You know, it's a double J. You know, if the left doesn't get you, the right one is gonna get you.
Yes.
So allow me to flow in with something there.
Yeah.
So you said fruitful and fruitfulness. So despite being a mathematician, I really love English and the turn of a phrase. So one of the things then is that at this point, somebody may be looking at their resources, and you know how you kind of look at that car pass and you try and do it upside down, open, and see. You look at the resources may not be there. However, resourcefulness is present.
Very true.
Ooh, yeah.
Very true. Resourcefulness is present. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. James, I'm looking at the time and I'm thinking somebody has messed up with the clock because unfortunately
it's moving faster.
Yes, we are out of time. But what's your parting shot? What's your parting shot? And maybe because this being I think this is the last Monday of the year, you can wish people.
Yes.
You can pass your Christmas, New Year greetings as we finish as well.
Okay, great. So the parting shot is this: from crisis to opportunity. That is a thought process.
Yeah.
From crisis, you know, it's a cycle. What follows next is what? Opportunity.
Yes.
Gratitude and hope. Fruitfulness is still there. You are resourceful. Tap into your resourcefulness. Step out. You are needed. Your voice is needed. That idea you have is needed. That thing you want to do is needed.
Yes.
And this is a time. Let's hope for better times. Let's plan for them. Wishing you all the best, and also a Merry Christmas.
Wow.
And a Happy New Year.
James Karun, it's always a blessing. I always feel motivated and encouraged every time I have a session with you. It's just amazing. Thank you for being a part of Jam 316 in 2020. I'm believing God in 2021 will have more opportunities to have such kind of discussions, to empower people, to encourage them, and to inspire them to become what God has created them to be. So asante sana.
Thank you, and thank you for the opportunity.
Great. Well, I'm out of time for today, Motivation Monday. I hope now you have some tools that you can be able to pick up the pieces and look forward to an amazing 2021, because I believe that 2021 will be an amazing year despite what we have seen in 2020. Well, that's the last Motivation Monday for this year. It's been quite a journey. I've hosted so many different people throughout this year. I pray that all the conversations we've had in 2020 have been encouraging and motivating to you. I pray that they've been able to inspire change in your life in one way or the other. We'll wait and see what direction God will give us where Motivation Monday is concerned into the new year. And lastly, remember, Eden Tea, finest garden tea. If you've not taken some Eden Tea this year, ensure you take some Eden Tea. And remember, the three things I've been really preaching to us this year: wash your hands with soap and running water, put on a face mask, and also interpersonal distance. Merry Christmas. Looking forward to a happy 2021. God bless you.
For this and more of our shows, log on to www.familymediaonline.com to enjoy a wide variety of programs, from current affairs to testimonials and features, pastoral and inspirational shows, kids entertainment, and so much more. Also stream live on www.familymedia.tv.